This video is sponsored by Manta Sleep. For being the namesake of the entire series, Princess Zelda doesn't get much screen time in a lot of games. She is frequently whisked off to some dungeon where she waits to be rescued. That isn't the case for all of these princesses, though. I don't think many Hylian princesses had it easy, but there are certainly those who had it worse. So let's go through all of them. There are a total of 14 different versions of Zelda that we see in the mainline Zelda games. Some are mentioned off screen, but we are ignoring them in favor of the ones who we actually interact with in gameplay. Because we don't play as Zelda in most games, we have to base their struggles off of context and dialogue. The good news is that we are often told what she is doing off camera. From there, we should easily be able to rank these princesses from the easiest journeys to the most difficult. A lot of these characters have very difficult journeys, so ranking them against each other isn't easy, except for number 1. She is in a league of her own. The rest are pretty close. As one final note, most different Zeldas are not given official titles, which means I get to make them up. I'll be sure to mention the games they're from, though. In dead last place, with what is the easiest journey, we have the Princess of the Minish from the Minish Cap. This princess spends the majority of the game as a stone statue. She has the briefest of confrontations with Vati at the start of the game and then is rescued by Link at the end. She does not participate in the last fight, and she barely spends any time running through Dark Hyrule Castle to escape. The most difficult part of her journey was getting attacked by a business scrub on her way to Hyrule Castle. She basically blinked, and the problem she was unaware of was suddenly over. In 13th place, we have Zelda from Four Swords. In my last video ranking Links, I call this Link John, so this Zelda is now Jane. Jane spends the majority of this game as a prisoner after being captured by Vati while checking the seal on the Four Sword. She does not help with the final fight against Vati and serves no purpose other than someone to save. She's only ranked above the Princess of Minish because she seems to have been conscious through most of her imprisonment. Still, just sitting there to be rescued isn't that hard. She is ranking low. In 12th place, we have the Princess of Hyrule from Zelda 1. This Zelda falls into the same category as many, where her main role is the damsel in distress. We only see her briefly at the end of the game after defeating Ganon. The reason she is ranked above the other two is because before she was kidnapped, she was able to split the Triforce of Wisdom into 8 parts, preventing Ganon from claiming another piece of the Triforce. This foresight does help prevent Ganon's rise to power, but she still spends most of the game doing nothing. In 11th place, we have the new Princess of Hyrule from A Link Between Worlds. Zelda plays a slightly more involved role in this game, giving you the Pendant of Courage and even technically helping in the final battle by giving you the Bow of Light. That being said, she does spend the majority of the game as a painting. Hilda plays a very important role in this game, but we aren't ranking which Hilda had it the hardest. But it wasn't exactly up to the same level as the other princesses to come. In 10th place, we have the Princess of Legend from A Link to the Past. This princess and the new Princess of Hyrule have a lot in common and rule over very similar kingdoms, but this version of Zelda plays a slightly more active role. She escapes the castle with you at the start of the game and is kidnapped again. She is the one responsible for calling you to the castle in the first place, so that probably counts for something, and along with the other maidens, she breaks the barrier to Ganon's tower, allowing you to face off against him. In 9th place, we have the Princess of Light from Four Swords Adventure. This princess still lands in the kidnapped princess category. She does not do much through most of the story, but unlike the other iterations, this Zelda is actually involved in the final confrontation with Ganon. She uses her abilities to help weaken and seal Ganon inside of the Four Sword. Fighting any version of Ganon directly is not an easy task, which makes her journey a bit more tough than those mentioned so far. In 8th place, we have Princess Zelda the First from Zelda 2. I know it sounds weird, but bear with me here. This Zelda is the ancestor of Zelda in Zelda 1. Before the downfall of the kingdom, there was a king who had 2 children, a son and a daughter. The daughter is Princess Zelda the First, and the son is never given a name. After the king's death, the son expected to inherit the full Triforce, but the Triforce of Courage is hidden somewhere. An evil wizard tells the prince that his sister knows where the Triforce of Courage is, and they both demand to know where. Zelda says no, and so the evil wizard puts her into an enchanted sleep and promptly dies. This is kind of a bad plan if you want to know the whereabouts of the Triforce. The prince, suddenly full of regret, has Zelda sealed away in the North Palace and decrees that all princesses be named Zelda after his sister that he accidentally got cursed. Many years later, after the events of Zelda 1, Link is shown Princess Zelda I by Impa. Then, after a journey where he completes the full Triforce, he wishes her back awake. This Zelda obviously is given the short end of the stick and should be given credit where credit is due. She wakes up in a new time where all of her friends and family are dead, and the world has changed around her. She didn't do that much other than refuse to aid an evil wizard, but she still sacrificed her life in order to keep the Triforce safe, which certainly makes her rank decently high. She did give Link a little kiss at the end though, so she couldn't have been too mad. Before we move on, let's talk about today's sponsor, Manta Sleep. Princess Zelda I might be incredibly good at sleeping, but I am so bad at it. Whenever I try and go to bed, my brain just goes, and I'm constantly bombarded with random thoughts about the day, what I'm going to do tomorrow, and the stress just builds, making it impossible to sleep. And even when I do start to fall asleep, any little noise or if a car drives by with their headlights, I wake up and then I have to do the whole process over again. Now, this is a real problem for me because less sleep means that I get migraines and I have a completely unproductive day. But thanks to Manta Sleep, some of these have started to resolve themselves. I currently use the Manta Sound Sleep Mask. It's a sleep mask, but with Bluetooth headphones built into it. Being able to listen to an audiobook or a YouTube video while I'm falling asleep really helps me consolidate my thoughts so that they're not just running rampant. Not only that, but car headlights and even the sun isn't a problem anymore because it is a blackout sleep mask. And when Manta Sleep says blackout, they mean it. I could use this mask in the middle of the day with all of my lights on and sleep perfectly fine. If you're having a hard time sleeping, go check out Manta Sleep and use code SWAG with 2 G's in checkout to get 10% off any of their product. Again, that is code SWAG with 2 G's. Links for Manta Sleep are down in the description. Thank you, Manta Sleep, for sponsoring this video, and back to the video. In 7th place, we have the Princess of Twilight from Twilight Princess. This Zelda is the start of Zeldas who are actually part of the story rather than just a random princess to rescue. She is the ruler of the kingdom when Zant attacks the castle and threatens all-out war. She makes the difficult decision to surrender, allowing the Twilight to engulf Hyrule. Later, when Midna is severely injured, Zelda offers her life force to heal her. This allows for her to be puppeted around later, which could not have been fun. She then plays a major role in the final confrontation against Ganondorf, and instead of just giving Link the Bow of Light, she is the one using it. A solid princess. In 6th place, we have Tetra from Wind Waker. This princess is only technically a princess. She is the leader of the pirates and one of my favorite iterations of the character. She understands to a degree that Ganondorf is a threat and does her best to help Link in his quest to defeat him. She willingly jumps into a fight with Ganondorf to save Link and nearly dies before they're both rescued by Valu. Tetra had all of the makings to have one of the most involved and difficult journeys, but unfortunately she gets sidelined very hard at the midpoint of the game, not to be seen again until the very end. She does help quite a bit in the final Ganondorf fight, and she definitely gets credit for that. But there are Zeldas who, in my opinion, had it harder. Oh, also she was just turned into stone for all of Phantom Hourglass. As we enter the top 5 hardest journeys, ranking these characters becomes very difficult. Each one has unique challenges they must face. None of them are easy, but if you've made it this far into the video, it would be awesome if you subscribed. It is a really good indicator on if people are interested in long-form videos, and it helps the channel a lot. In 5th place, we have the Princess of Spirits from Spirit Tracks. The number one thing that this princess has on everyone else is that she kinda dies. We spend a ton of time with Zelda as a spirit in this game. She acts as our companion character and can even get involved in combat by possessing other creatures. She eventually does reunite with her body, and while she was a spirit, it doesn't seem like she was ever in actual danger, but it was still probably traumatizing. In 4th place, we have the Priestess of Wisdom from Echoes of Wisdom. This is the only Zelda that we get significant control over in the series. Her and Link completely swap roles in this game, and therefore Zelda must face down dungeons and monsters by herself to prevent Noel from consuming the world. This is certainly not an easy task, but after all of her efforts, they are able to return the kingdom to its original state and fully undo any damage done by Noel. She works hard, but deals with no long-term consequences. She's also one of the only princesses with her father still alive, so she's got that going for her. In 3rd place, we have the Princess of Time, also known known as Sheik from Ocarina of Time. If we were only ranking Zelda's efforts while she is Zelda, she would be ranked closer to where the Princess of Legend is on the list. But she actually spends a significant portion of the game disguised as Sheik. Sheik is very involved in the efforts against Ganondorf. He constantly provides aid to the Hero of Time with songs that allow him to warp, information on where to go and how to use the Gate of Time. And he even saves Princess Ruto from being frozen with Zora's domain. On top of this, while in her true form, Zelda, along with the other sages, managed to seal Ganon away while he is superpowered by the Triforce of Power. She is more involved than most Zeldas, but she also must live with the fact that her failures led to the destruction of the kingdom and the death of her father. Hyrule was in Ganondorf's hands for 7 years, and even though you can hardly blame a 10-year-old for falling short, she still blames herself. She tries to fix her mistakes by sending Link back to his childhood, but she might actually cause more damage by doing this. Her story is tragic even if her efforts were valiant. In second place, we have the Princess of the Wild from Breath of the Wild. In the backstory we are given in Breath of the Wild, we learn about Zelda's struggles to awaken her sealing powers in the face of a calamity sure to destroy her kingdom. We also learn about her relationship with her father and her failure to prevent the oncoming apocalypse. These aspects are very similar to the Princess of Time. Where things start to divert is where Zelda spends 100 years in Hyrule Castle holding back Calamity Ganon. This is an absurd amount of time to be in a stasis, semi-conscious. It would almost be enough to place her this high by itself, but her story doesn't stop there. In Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda is sent back in time and must do her best to prevent Ganondorf from destroying the kingdom. Her feats, as depicted in Tears of the Kingdom, are already impressive, but in Age of Imprisonment, we are given even greater context to the struggles she goes through. She is front lines with the other sages and plays a key role in sealing away Ganondorf. Sealing away Calamity Ganon for 100 years was cool and all, but what's even cooler is Zelda restoring the Master Sword over tens of thousands of years. She would be an easy number one if it wasn't for the one who really deserves first place. In the top spot, we have the Princess of the Skies, the goddess Hylia from Skyward Sword. Hylia is chronologically the origin point of every other Zelda. It is her blood that allows for any princess to have the power they do. It's honestly not even fair to compare the magnitude of Hylia's journey to any other princess. She is given one responsibility from the Golden Goddesses: protect the Triforce. The problem is that the most powerful demon we ever get the chance to see is dead set on claiming it. Demise is an enemy that we don't even have context to fear correctly. Hylia was able to seal him away, but only after sustaining significant damage to herself. Knowing that she could not defeat Demise herself, she had to forge a new plan for a hero to do it for her. She laid the groundwork for a hero to destroy Demise with the Triforce and was wise enough to also create a demon-killing weapon at the exact same time that Link was being prepared. This is all impressive stuff, but it doesn't stop there. After all of her preparations were made, Hylia shed her divinity and became the mortal we know as Zelda. The intention here was to deliberately be bait. She says herself that she knew that Link would do anything if it meant saving Zelda. Sure, this is partially the byproduct of the circumstances, but she still put herself in danger as she slowly remembers her true nature. Then, after all of that, she sacrifices herself for thousands of years to maintain the seal on Demise at the sealed grounds. And even then, all of this is completely ignoring the war that Hylia waged against Demise that was, quote, of unmatched scale and ferocity, the likes of which would never be seen again. This comes directly from Fi, who is known for being objective in her descriptions. Hylia is where the story begins, and she by far has the most difficult journey of any Zelda. Thank you for watching. It means a lot that you took the time to make it this far into the video. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.